Hello there, and welcome to day number 28. That marks 4 weeks into the Road to 2000 ELO Rapid Series. We're playing with the white pieces in this one, and we're playing e4, e5. So a king's pawn opening. Knight f3 is the move we like to play, and I'm going to go with the 4-knight scotch here, if my opponent allows it, by going knight f6. Let's see what happens here. We're playing a 1644. Okay, and this bishop c5 move is played. We've played this in the past, and this is a mistake for the reason that after knight takes back, we have d4. It's not terrible. The right move here is bishop d6. This is an opening I've studied quite extensively because I like to play the 4-knight scotch, so I should know the other variations possible if the knight doesn't go on f6. But this is already a little bit better for white. I don't think bishop b4 is the move because now I get to just win this knight. And this stops them from playing f6. So let's just take here. And yeah, they doubled pawns, but I'm up a pawn. And I'm looking pretty good in this position, I think. Okay, but my pawn structure looks a little weird, I must admit. We can solidify it with something like f4, which is my first instinct. I don't know if it's any good. It does make my king a little bit less safe, but also we're the ones with the threats in the position. It kind of just locks in a lot of my opponent's pieces as well. F4 is not necessary, though, because this pawn's not being attacked. Maybe we can wait for F4 until the pawn's being attacked. So instead, maybe we can do something like slide the bishop onto B2, or bishop E3, bishop C4, I think makes a lot of sense. Let's go bishop C4 here, with an eye on this pawn. And now that they've castled, I'm going to just castle as well. We seem to be doing pretty good over here. Okay, so this pawn's hanging. Now can I go f4? I kind of want to. I feel like f4, f5 is a nice idea in the future. It's obviously not playable right now because the pawn drops, but here, what do I want to do? Probably take. Let's take. I mean, it is a free pawn after all. If queen takes, I mean, I'm down to trade. I'm up a pawn. Okay, I thought I was on the trade. Let's think about this for a second. My opponent's playing this really quickly, so maybe they're confident about something. Not too sure what. I don't know what better options they have. I'd love to play something like bishop a3, for example. What's important to note is I don't have to trade the queens right away. I kind of want to just because this pawn becomes a weakness, and that is why I'll trade it. But it's important to note I didn't have to trade. I could have left the bishop on d1, the queen on d1, because it was protected by the rook. So that's something to keep in mind. With that being said, though, I think now is a good time to go after this weakness here. So rook here, probably to defend, and then pawn up looks like it just wins material. Let's do that. Let us do that. All right, this move over here. And now we just take, I believe. And now we're just up a solid 2 pawns instead of just 1. We're probably going to lose this pawn. Actually, no, I have bishop here, but we're going to lose this one. Let's see if we can set up some ideas here. Maybe something like, okay, so pawn up. All right, if I play this, I lose this pawn. Maybe I can play this first. It gives me a little bit of tempo. Where does the pawn go? Where's the bishop go? All the way back looks silly, right? Let's try this. There's very few other squares. Maybe the bishop goes here. That'd be interesting. Also, do I have ideas with this? Maybe rook here? I mean, I'm completely winning. Let's convert this win. Usually I lose on time, but I feel like I can't lose on time in this game. If here's annoying, I don't want to lose this pawn. I don't care if I lose this one. So maybe I should go this way and drop this pawn because I don't really see what's the point of keeping it. And you know, the knight can't really go anywhere productive. My goal is going to be probably playing like rook e1, rook e7. Looks really good. And let's see if my opponent can stop that in any way. Maybe by going here, but then I have rook here. So let's go rook e1. And they can't target this pawn. They don't have any dark squared control, and this knight is not able to, in one move, attack the pawn on d6. And, okay. Interesting move. This drops another pawn, though, after bishop takes... Oh, it doesn't. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, it doesn't. But I can play now c4, c5, and lock in this pawn on... lock in this pawn on d6, I think. I hope. Here looks interesting. But then rook e7. So let's go c4. It feels like I'm playing a blitz game. I'm not gonna lie. Something about this feels like it's like almost blitzy. Okay, let's see. How can we make progress on the position? Maybe we want to bring the rook in and then sack a pawn. Takes here. Let's go for this. I'm trying to make sure the knight has nowhere productive to go to. Here, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook here. Okay. Now can we just go forward? Pawn up. We're threatening back rank. Not really, because the knight's defending the square as well, but here, if knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, then back rank is threatened. If pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, back rank is threatened. Let's do this. Pawn takes, we can play bishop takes. If knight takes, then we're threatening back rank checkmate. I believe. Here, I should calculate a little bit more, but this looks like back rank's being threatened. And there we go. Well, good call, good call. Let's see if we can trade the rooks. I feel like that might be beneficial in this position. Okay, no rook trade. Interesting. Now we should probably keep our bishop on the board, right? Probably something like bishop b4, so we can push this pawn forward, or even bishop a3, to be honest, just so the bishop c4 can run into a5, which isn't great, but bishop a3 blocks in our a pawn. Huh. Let's think about this one. It doesn't really matter. Everything's winning. Let's just go a3. And let's try to play for c4, c5. Let's give that a shot. Okay, I don't know where this knight's trying to go. Attack this, maybe. Stick with our plan. Or maybe we can even go here, here. And we can disguise it as if we're defending the pawn. But this carries a pretty big threat. We can try to trade the rooks now. Or maybe now is a good time to play c4. Here's annoying. Do I have a rook check? Feels like I do, because this kind of forces this. Let's try it. If rook here, here, check, takes, knight takes is a little annoying. Okay, so not that. Bishop here? Where's the knight going to go? The knight is kind of trapped, isn't it? It's not really doing much. Can't go here, can't go here. Has no future either way there. I feel like I can trade the rooks here pretty readily. I'm down quite substantially on time, but I mean, everything should be winning. Okay, he's trying to play this. Do I care? Probably not. Check here. Here, takes, and the pawn's protected. And I just bring my king up, right? Let's give that a shot. Can the king go here? Yeah, but it's bad. So let's do this. Also, oh wait, this wins a knight. What am I saying? This wins a knight. Oh, now I just won the game. Okay, this is an example of me being at 1200 sometimes. Like, I didn't realize I won a knight until I played the move. And we win, and with that, exactly 7 points gained. Exactly 1700 elo. We have hit the first milestone on the road to 2000 with this 1700 elo benchmark being set. That means I have officially gained 100 points, 100 rating points in exactly 4 weeks' time, in 28 days. I'm pretty happy with this. The plan was to try to get this done by the end of October, and I've done that with a few days to spare. And hopefully, we can stick to the goal of getting to 1800 by the end of the year, maybe even more. I don't know. It feels good to have won this game. Let us take a look at the analysis. Okay, folks, time to analyze the game that got us to 1700. We got e4 on the board to start. And e5, knight f3, knight c6, and knight c3 preparing for the 4-knight scotch with a 3 knights opening, and my opponent played bishop c5, which is an inaccuracy because knight takes on e5 is possible now. After knight takes back, you've got d4. The move here with black to play in a position that's not losing is bishop d6. After pawn takes, bishop takes. And this pawn on e4 is stagnant. You're able to play d5 soon enough with counterplay, or at least d6 to bring out your other bishop. But my opponent plays bishop b4, which lets me take without losing the pawn back. After bishop takes on c3, pawn takes on c3. And here I'm simply just up a pawn. And after knight e7, bishop c4, very natural developing square for the bishop. And castles is fine. And here knight g6 is played. Wasn't really sure what to do. Bishop a3 is a nice looking move, actually. Bishop a3, now that I look at the engine moves, bishop a3 is a nice looking move because it comes with tempo. Pretty much forces either d6 or a rook e8. And rook e8 is met with f4. D6 is just met with pawn takes, which, you know, wins another pawn. So not much that black can do here. F4 is fine right now, too, what I did play. It's actually considered the best move according to that little star thingy. I believe that means it's the best move. So, hey, good enough for me. Now that d6 is played, I played e takes on d6, which is fine. Queen takes, and pawn takes, and we just accept the fact that we're up a pawn out of this opening, and our position looks pretty good. We're better developed. We have central control. I mean, everything's going our way. Rook at d1, fighting to win the pawn on d6. After rook d8, I decided to play e5, and that's an inaccuracy. Okay. Interesting. I don't see why. Apparently, bishop f5 is why. Dropping this pawn. But after bishop f5, for example, rook takes d6, rook takes d6. Wait, really? You let the... Oh, okay, well, I guess, okay. This kind of makes sense. So you don't take back with the rook. Taking back with the rook would be a mistake. Because then this pawn becomes a very, very big threat, and it's easy to hold on to this pawn for me because I have the bishop that can come onto a3 and the rook that can come onto d1. For example, if you take now, well then, this does not look too great for a couple of reasons. First of all, I can just play normal chess and I'm just up a pawn. So g3. Bishop d5 can be played here, which I don't know what that does too much, to be honest. But anyways, I digress. I'm going to pretend I know what I'm talking about. That's not what happens. So I played e5. They played bishop g4. Here I played rook takes, pawn takes. And after rook d8, I decided to go bishop a3, holding onto the pawn, understanding the priorities of the position. And here, a rook e1 I played to try to go to f7. Here, what I missed is that a rook f1 is much stronger. If rook f1 is played, you have this as a target. So rook f1, it's very, very hard to find the move. For black, you know, my first instinct would be knight e6, which looks bad. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Rook here, for example, looks pretty solid. So rook e1 is played instead, which is not terrible. Bishop back is the best move. And here, trading is actually bad for me. And trading makes this game almost back to equal. I mean, white's still slightly better, but not winning. And let's see why. So bishop takes, knight takes is the reason why. And I missed this move. I thought pawn would take, and then I could play g3. But knight taking back is the reason why, because then it's hard for me to make progress in this position. I actually have to move my king forward in order to to keep a +1 advantage. So what I should have done here is probably play bishop b3, where if they take, which is the best move, I can undouble my pawns, and then the c pawn and the b pawn can work together. That frees up my bishop entirely. So that's something that I missed. I decided to go for the tricks. I thought, hey, I'm winning. But then after this move here, b6, I realized, okay, it's a little hard for me to prove that I'm winning. I can't really play c5 anymore. This c2 pawn's not doing anything, so yes, I'm up a pawn, but this pawn is essentially useless. So I guess I wasn't as good as I thought. But then after rook d7, I realized here that now I can play c5 because now there's back rank threats. And bishop takes c5 over here means that if knight takes, then rook b8 is made in two after the rook slides back, obviously. So apparently the best move here is rook b8 check right away. Because of the fact that if the knight blocks, well, then you take with the bishop. And if the rook blocks, well, then you trade, I assume, and then you take with the bishop. So I didn't see the check. I kind of just thought, hey, it's more fun to take and see if they hang back rank mate. Obviously, they're not going to do that at the 1600-ish level. They play this f6 move. But now I played the check. After the king moves out of the way, bishop a3 is the right move. I was debating bishop b4, bishop a3. Bishop b4 is apparently a mistake because of knight d4. Okay, I'm trying to play knight c6, I believe. So let's say I mindlessly play this move. Well, actually, no, it's not even the reason why. Knight f5 is the reason why. Because now I win this pawn back. With black pieces, I can't defend with the rook. And I can't defend with the pawn. So that's the reason why. Interesting. Okay, but anyways, I played the right move, bishop a3. Trying to play c4, c5 in the future. Here I played... Oh, I didn't play c4. Oh, I thought I played c4 here. Why didn't I play c4? I don't know. I don't have a good reason. Anyways, this was played. And now black has good chances with knight b5 because I gotta defend both this pawn and this bishop, and it's not possible to do. I have to go bishop b4, and then I lose the pawn. Probably what I would do here is bishop takes, rook check. It's probably what I'd do so I can win a pawn back. But I don't know if this is that good because I lose the pawn here. I don't know. Apparently it's equal, so I didn't play this perfectly. Interesting. Okay. We got a ways to go. 1700 doesn't mean we're that good. On the contrary. And we won the game after bishop c5, knight e1. So what I realized after bishop c5 is that it's really strong because it immobilizes the knight. It can't go onto any of these squares. And the only way to get back in the game is on e1, but going knight e1 hangs this check and hangs the knight. So this was almost equal at a certain point, completely equal here. King e6 is not the move. I played c4, which is the best move, now solidifying the pawn on d6. And after this move here, knight c2, I'm actually able to isolate the knight from the rest of the game and win the knight. And after the resignation, finally hit 1700. Feels like it's been a long time coming. 28 days in, 100 ELO points gained. The progress is real, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see if it can keep going forward. Road to 2,000 ELO. We're playing chess every single day without stopping till we hit that 2,000 mark. If you guys enjoy the videos, please do consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, commenting. Love to hear what your rating is currently and what your goals are. We'll see if we can hit our goals together in the future. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do differently, anything I can do to make these videos better. I'm all ears. And I hope that y'all are enjoying, honestly. That's the whole point of this, for me to learn and for y'all to enjoy. So with that being said, catch y'all next time. 1700 and counting. Let's go beyond. Adios, ladies and gentlemen.